Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? Today, I want to talk about a project that I'm planning in 2000 or in 2023, together with Olly from Olly. We are going to read all the books that Patricia Highsmith has written. Patricia Highsmith, mostly from the talented Mr. Ripley books. Well, she has written a whole lot more than that, and I came to this idea because I read this magnificent book last year. No, at the beginning of this year, it was beginning of January. It is the best book I've ever read, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So it's her diaries and notebooks. And what makes this so special is that she has really written it for herself and not exactly for an audience. So you know her most inner thoughts, you know what she is reading, you can follow her development as a writer and also her decline as a person, as a human being. It is so powerful and so intense. Of course, there are things that come back all the time. She drinks a lot, she parties a lot, she dates a lot of people. Yeah, for some, they find it tedious. If you are used to only read novels, then this is not the book for you. But for me, and if you are interested in the person Patricia Highsmith, it's an absolute treat. It is very high quality writing. And yeah, it's. I didn't know that at the time, but she was a bit odd. When you invited her for a party or whatever, for dinner, she always arrived with a bag, and in that bag were some salad, and a couple of hundred snails. So, don't. Let's invite Aunt Betty. Or maybe not. So yeah, it is an amazing book, and together with Olly, we will read all her books that she has written, and there are quite a few. I have managed to collect already most of them secondhand. I have still another 5 or so to find for next year. But we are starting to read them as from January. Her first book that she has written is maybe one of her best known, apart from the Ripleys, is Strangers on a Train, where two men on the train start talking about their home situation, and at the end of the train ride they decide that they will commit a murder for each other. Yeah, it's an amazing book and book and film. I adore Hitchcock, and this is one of my most favorite movies. Oh, some of the dialogues in that movie are amazing, really amazing. The second book was Carol, the love story between Therese Belivet and Carol. And then she wrote The Blunderer. I have no idea what is this about. So Walter Stackhouse, young, successful, and handsome, a bit like Olly, seems to have it all. That is, until the day his wife's body is found at the bottom of a cliff. He may have thought about killing Clara, but he didn't. And in trying to prove his innocence, Walter's perfect life is derailed. Sounds really cool. Then the first book that I don't have is Deep Water, and then I have A Game for the Living. I only found the Dutch version. This seems very good. It's about a sinister game around life and death in Mexico, and who of her lovers killed Lelia. And then we have This Sweet Sickness, I believe it's called. It's also in Dutch. This Sweet Sickness, yeah. This is also the Dutch version. Somebody who wants to destroy the marriage of somebody else. Then A Cry for the Owl I still have to find. And then The Two Faces of January. You see it? Yeah. Two men meet in the picturesque back streets of Athens. Chester MacFarlane is a conman with multiple false identities near the end of his rope and on the run with his young wife Colette. Rydell Keener is a young drifter looking for adventure. He finds it one evening as the law catches up with Chester and Colette, and their fates become fatally entwined. I saw this movie recently, and it was really good. And then The Glass Cell. Philip Carter is in prison, innocent, and he is innocent, of course, like everybody in prison. And he has to endure a horrible treatment, and he sees how his best friend is beaten to death. In the prison, the man has time to think and change things. Sounds really interesting. Two books, Suspicion of Mercy and Those Who Walk Away, I don't have. Then Patricia Highsmith's The Tremor of Forgery. Howard Ingman, an American writer, is in Tunisia working on a screenplay. But when the director fails to arrive, he feels stranded. The erratic mail eventually brings news of his suicide. For reasons obscure even to himself, Ingham decides to stay and work on a novel, but a series of peculiar events, a hushed-up murder and a vanished corpse, lures him into the deep. Sounds good. And then I also need to find A Dog's Ransom. And then we have Edith's Diary. In the neat Pennsylvania house with senile dribbling Uncle George and her sly son Cliffy, Edith watches the strange hold of everyday life tighten its grip. Slowly, inevitably, she retreats into her diary where she builds a perfect fantasy of a very different life. And the denouement is more subtle, more intense, more terrifying than mere murder. And then Found in the Street. On a stroll through Greenwich Village, security guard Ralph Lindemann finds a wallet on the sidewalk. It is Jack Sutherland's misfortune to have returned it to him, because now Ralph knows where he lives. And then People Who Knock on Door, I still have to find that one. And the last one she's ever written is Small G by Patricia Highsmith. And this one was rejected by her publisher. And it's the chilling murder of Ricky Mulkwater's lover, P.T. Ritter. I can imagine why it's rejected. So yeah, can be interesting. And then there are 5 Ripleys. The Talented Mr. Ripley, Ripley Underground, Ripley's Game, The Boy Who Followed Ripley, and Ripley Underwater. That was the last one was written in 1991. So yeah, I think almost every book has been filmed. So that is not bad for an author. So yeah, that's my challenge. Do you have a challenge for 2023? What are you reading? Have you ever read any of these books? Are they any good? Let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.